What's up? It is Sam here, and today is an awesome video. I'm going to talk a little bit about all this craziness that is happening in the US and in the world, but I'm also going to show you and talk about the website that I have built and how freaking awesome it is in terms of being able to increase your ranking and some of the tools that they offer. And we're going to talk, and I'm going to actually go through exactly how I'm going to be publishing an article to my blog on my website and how freaking easy it is, because it's something that I've been putting off for a long time, is creating a website. And the story I told myself is that it was going to be complicated to go through the process and actually do it, but it was just an excuse to not actually take the work. So I want to put this out there so that hopefully somebody else who was telling themselves a false story as well can see this and then start taking action on their life. So with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it is good to freaking see you. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about all this craziness that is happening in the world right now. I think this is a very, very interesting time to go through and experience. If you are in the main demographic of people who watch this channel, between I think 30 and 45 roughly. That's the biggest portion. I think it's actually 34 to 44. That's the biggest section of people who watch this show. And if you're in that demographic, then you probably remember going through 2008 and how that was like, to me, it didn't really have that much of an effect, honestly. I didn't really think about it. I was just living my life. And now that if you're in that age demographic, you had 10 more years of experience and knowledge of business, if you think like I do, you know that this is only temporary and that you know it is going to get probably a lot worse before it starts getting better. But that it's only going to be something that's going to be very temporary, even though the effects are going to be permanent. Shit is not going to be the same. Period. Like, we're never going back to the way we were. Period. But the immediacy of what is happening right now is only temporary. If you use, say, where it came from, because YouTube and Facebook are so incredibly conservative right now in terms of not allowing disinformation, information that is not accurate, out into the public for fear of criticism and backlash from governments around the world. If they are not super controlling with what's happening on their platforms, I don't want to use any specific like words that may trigger YouTube or Facebook to censorship, as in what it really is censorship in some form. So, because I don't think we need to necessarily have censorship, certain people have different beliefs. But, um, well, then that's enough of that. So, if you look at that as an example where it came from, and that took about 3 months for that to go from start to finish. If you look at the escalation of the cases reported on a daily basis, it's just going to be like a normal bell curve, right? It's going to go up and then it's going to come down. And if you say that for, on the one hand, the U.S. wasn't paying attention, so it's going to spike a lot faster and crash a lot faster, that could be one argument. On the other hand, you have the U.S. didn't do anything so they could learn more about what was happening in other markets to try to control it even faster. Then in either case, you could say that the time frame, just to be optimistic, shortened, right? And went to 2 months, right? And so this is March 24th today. And I think it's been around 2 weeks so far. So since people started being like absolutely insane, and actually paying attention to what's going on, but there's still a lot of people who believe that this is only temporary and it's really not that big of an issue. And I agree that the actual thing that started this, the actual like whatever, I don't know if I say that word, starts with a V, it's going to be censored or not, so I'm not. But I don't think that's an actual issue. I think that the issue is going from a trajectory of growth to complete and utter stoppage, like, just trying to think of a better word. If it goes from, like, if you're going 60 miles an hour and you just fucking go right into a brick wall, there's a lot of damage that happens. And that's what's happened with commerce around the globe all at the same time, where commerce has come to a halt to a great deal. It is still happening, but the amount of commerce that has stopped like that is going to cause that car going 60 miles an hour into a brick wall a lot of damage. I think you can see the analogy there, where there's a lot of stupid things that people do uh, from a financial perspective, um, by not, I mean, like, look at our school system, right? It's a fucking joke. Is it really? It's probably been several decades since school really actually provided a tremendous amount of value to students. Um, and I was homeschooled, and I'm talking about college, but I'm sure it's exactly the same, but worse for high school. Like, if we actually had classes that taught kids things that were actually important, I think that would be one thing that could potentially come as a change through this process of the system. The other thing is that I think the idea that people believe it is an intelligent thing to do to live on more than what you make and not plan for the future. Um, because if you're not 6 years old, you know this type of thing happens. And it happens pretty regularly. And it's happened pretty regularly throughout fucking history. So just pay attention to what's happened, and you know that this type of event is going to happen again in the future. So when that happens, you plan for it, meaning you need to be able to take care of yourself. So get your own fucking finances right. Like, if people think you in the financial world say to save 5 10% of what you're say of like what you earn, and it's some type of vehicle that locks up your money and you can't do anything with, right? Like a 401k. Cool. If that's what you want to do whatever you need to do, but 5 10% is jack shit. You need to be up closer to 50%. It's going to change your world, and you might not know how to do that, but if you want to change the trajectory of your life, you need to make massive changes. Everybody wants change, and nobody wants to change. So I think that we have gone a little bit more macro, and I'd like to dive into something much, much more practical. So this is the website that I use for my website. I don't know the proper, or if there is terminology associated with like a website and this hosts this website or something, or if like the website that hosts the other site, if that's where you can see the data, whatever that site is the site that I have on. I have the back end access to my website essentially. I don't know what the correct terminology is, and I just created this and I'm working on doing it. I've got 27 visitors over the last week or so. So this is through Investor Carrot. It's an easy to set up website. As I mentioned earlier, I feel as though I first thought about getting a website in around 2010 or 2011. And I just had a different excuse every single time that I thought about doing it, why I should not do it. Whether it was at that time, it was I didn't really have a purpose, or that maybe I didn't know how to do something, or it was the $7 a month you fucking pay, or 14, or whatever it would come out to be, that I didn't want to take the money to invest to it, and whatever it had been. And I finally decided to go through and create a website. And one of the things that allows your website to move forward and make it work essentially is you have to get noticed in the market, just like in a business, right? You have to get noticed in the market. People have to know who the fuck you are. And one of the ways you do that on the internet is through Google. Something called SEO, search engine optimization. And your website, if you search most amount of data when somebody goes to Google and they search for something, uh, most people don't go past the first page. They just click on a site from the first page. Some like stupid high number, like more than 75% or right around 75%. Um, Click on a link from the first page. So if you're not on the first page, you're losing a ton of opportunity. So this website is already designed for SEO, which is the search engine optimization. It's already optimized for Google. And you just buy that template that is already organized for and optimized for Google. By the way, there's a link down below. It is an affiliate link if you want to support the channel. If you have a need for like a website, like I probably should have looked it up, but they probably do other websites. I know they do real estate agent websites. They do them investor websites. They do seller websites. They do buyer websites. And they're all optimized for Google and for click through in terms of like capturing somebody's information. So those are you want people to give you their information so you can reach out to them and be like, hey bro, you want to sell? Or like as an investor website, hey, what are you trying to buy or whatever you're trying to sell something to those people as well. It's just depending on the person who's actually on the other end of what you're trying to do with the website. And I'm a big fan of them. So that's why I'm an affiliate of them. There's a link down below. I should have pulled up the cost, but I think it's probably around 150 bucks a month for what I went for, or 100 bucks a month or something, which includes articles, and that's what I'm going to actually put on the website. So what does the article help with on the website? Well, that it helps with the search engine optimization. So the article is creating content for the website in the sense that when people go to the web for your specific audience that you're trying to target, they're going to look for shit, right? And whoever has the most relevant shit for what they're looking for, according to Google's algorithm, is what's going to show up on that first page. So you want to have the most relevant information out there on the web for your specific audience that when they search for it, you show up on that first page. You can do that through keywords or key phrases. And some of the keywords and key phrases that we're targeting is like sell your house fast and then in the market, right? Or sell an ugly house or whatever. And a couple of them were already ranked in the top 100 of total listings. So that doesn't mean you're on the first page, right? The first page only has 7, 10 listings, right? So there's still 6, 7 pages out there, right? So there's still opportunity there, but this has only been, I think, day 31 into real estate wholesaling. Day 31 today. So this is what I'm working on, and I wanted to walk you through this. Now, I paid for the content package, so this is what the back end looks like. But if you click over here to content marketing, it doesn't work because the internet is down. So that's what happens when you have a monopoly on the internet and they don't fucking provide good service. That you don't actually get any service. Anyways, it looks like it's back up now. Nope, apparently not. Maybe it's this website. Let's try Yahoo. Okay, there's no fucking internet. Fantastic. What I was about to show you is that you can actually create the blog post from the blog post, so you can have a blog associated with your website, and you can pay for them to write the articles essentially that are already optimized for Google to place on my website. So that is what I did. And I was going to publish one of these and show you here, but there was one here. And this is the title: How to Avoid Running into Mortgage Paying Trouble for Rock Hill Homeowners. So this is probably the day I actually started this, where I actually didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I'm still learning through this process. But this is the one I did 2 days ago. I'm relocating and need to sell my house fast. So clicking through here, you get to see, well, you can't see it, never mind. But anyways, that's the title of it, and you get to see picture, and the whole article is already written. And it was just like a template article that is already optimized for SEO, that is tailored specifically to my market in terms of those keywords that are just populated in the article. Now, having something like this is super helpful so that I don't have to take my time to actually go through and write the article, or I don't have to pay somebody to go, I don't have to find a writer who can write articles that are already optimized for my specific niche and teach them about that niche and pay whatever. This is a maybe potentially that would be cheaper. I don't feel like it could be, because you can amortize the cost of article writing over multiple people, so it's just way easier. But you could probably get more of a way. Obviously, you get way more of a customized thing from hiring an individual, where the quality could be substantially greater in terms of optimizing it specifically to that market and not just taking a much more generic approach to it. But there's more costs in terms of the effort it takes to find somebody to do that, and I'm focusing on other things at the moment where that could be a step that I would take down the road. At this moment, having something and learning how to actually use a website and put content on a website is much higher priority to me than finding a writer and who can write SEO friendly blog posts, who knows about real estate wholesaling and can do that for this specific market. That's just not super high on my priority list of things to accomplish right now. But it is super easy to do this, and that was the process I was going to show you guys tonight. If you have a website that you need related to some of the things that I mentioned, whether it's a buyer or whether it's a seller, or you're trying to do real estate wholesaling, or a real estate agent, they have all these templates set up there. You can just go fucking pick it. It's already optimized for whatever. If you're in that area of one of those things I mentioned, they probably do other ones. You can go just get the website all set up right away, super fast, super fucking easy for somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Right? And I still was able to set this up. I can't show you around here, but it is, I mean, all these links work if the fucking internet worked. We don't have any testimonials yet, but all of the links and everything goes to areas and it looks professional and everything like that. And each one's trying to capture their information in some way, in terms of getting them to give email and or phone number or property address. So I highly recommend them. If you have a need, jump on the description and use that link, and it does help with the channel, but only if you actually have a need. If you're not going to do anything with it, then why fucking waste your money? Like, just don't do it unless you actually are going to put the effort it takes to figure it out. And it's super easy to do, but it does require you putting in the effort to actually like take the steps and move yourself forward. Just like anything in life, if you're trying to achieve anything in life, you need to actually show the fuck up and move forward. So if you guys appreciate this content, make sure you smash that like button. And more importantly, if you got any value out of this, share this with somebody else who you think could get value. That's going to help them out. Don't share it with people who you don't think are going to get value with it. Only take it and share it, like text it to somebody who you think is going to get value out of it. If you have somebody that comes to mind, just go press the share button and send the video to them. If they're going to get value out of it, it is helping them out. It is helping the channel out. That's how you move forward in 2020. It's not about how things used to be. It's about how you can provide value to the marketplace, how you can provide value to those around you. So think about how you're talking and thinking about life, and use that to try to create a better self-awareness around how you think about providing value or consuming value or taking value, right? Because that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be in the future, and where we're heading right now. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and press that bell notification so YouTube can notify you next time I post a video. Peace.